right? Because you're accustomed to something, and then because it's like, okay, well, should I do that? Should I? No, compromise. Do it. Hey diary listeners, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. For today's entry, I want to share with you 10 lessons that I learned in my 2 years of marriage. If you are new here, welcome. I am Aari and this is my diary. So I intend to be very short and sweet with this, right? 10 things that I would have learned in marriage thus far. Number 1, marriage kills you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to say, it is so easy. It is not. It's a constant dying, right? It's a beautiful process of pruning yourself to be Christ-like, to be a good spouse, to have a marriage that is honorable and pleasing to God, that glorifies God, right? And marriage causes you to be selfless. You will never find constant happiness or even joy in your marriage if you are selfish. There's nothing that is rewarding from selfishness. Christ told us, deny ourselves, pick up our cross daily and follow him. And marriage allows you to be selfless. It actually takes you up, for me actually, it took me up a notch of being kind, being gentle, being, patient. And it's all about seeking to serve and not to be served. And if both of us are doing that, like serving each other, it is better for the marriage, ultimately, right? And our natural state is to be selfish. We want what we want, when we want it, how we want it, without any input from anybody. For me, being very selfless, it flows into different aspects of my life. I'm able to respond to things differently. I'm able to, have more humility, extend more grace to others. And it really is a rewarding thing. Number 2, commitment. This is a daily choosing of your spouse, and also it involves just remembering your vows, for better or worse, in sickness and in health, for richer or poorer, forsaking all others, because in marriage lust doesn't fade away. Your eyes are not blinded by the opposite sex. It takes a lot of maturity to say, hello, I am choosing my spouse. There is nothing out there for me. It's a daily choosing of your spouse. Number 3, teamwork, right? You want to be able to tackle goals as a team. It is not you versus your spouse versus the issue, problem, situation, whatever, right? It is you and your spouse versus whoever or whatever, right? And I have had to learn that even more. So yes, it used to happen in our relationship when we were engaged, when we were together, boyfriend, girlfriend, but it is even more magnified in marriage. And teamwork helps a lot. When you look at football, the goal is to beat the opponents, right? There's no way that you would want to intentionally shoot an own goal. There's no way, right? And I think it all comes down to knowing what you want, accepting that this is your teammate and you're gonna hit goals head on, right? The 4th thing is respect and support. Respect is simple, right? Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Do unto your spouse as you'd have him or her do unto you. There's no way that you cannot accept something and expect your spouse to accept that. And for support, you want to be your spouse's cheerleader. in their goals, in their aspirations, everything, right? And I even saw it with Micah and I. So Micah is a lot into aviation, and being married, I have, opened up myself to aviation videos, listening to ATC towers, and yes, I am his biggest cheerleader, but I've also grown a love for it. Like, there's an appreciation for it rather, and I enjoy doing things that he likes, just by default. The fifth thing is mood swings, right? And as a woman, we tend to be very emotional about certain things, and keeping your emotions in check helps a lot. For me, it helps a lot, and I really didn't understand it until Micah would have brought it to my attention. A mood sets the atmosphere for your home, and there was one time Micah came home, and I like to be in the dark, right? Don't judge me. So I like to be in the dark and just think. But I think this one day I was just like out of it. I was just, not saying much. And it sort of threw off the atmosphere in the home. Like, he didn't know how to step to me and like, should I have this conversation, that type of thing. And I really did see that, okay, I have to keep my moods in check. Like, despite how I'm feeling, I have to keep my moods in check, because it will then spring off on this person. You technically have to be responsible for who you are as a person first, like as an individual. You have to be responsible for your happiness, so that when you come together, you can be a better united front. You want to be able to give off positive emotions, positive vibes, just positivity, right? As opposed to a Debbie Downer. You know what I mean? Number 6, prioritize date nights. Prioritizing date nights is so important, because life can be so hectic, it can be so chaotic. We have a number of things to do on our to-do list, and sometimes we just need that time to reconnect, to talk about certain things, to strengthen our bond. And scheduling date nights and prioritizing it is very important, right? Number 7 would be to be mindful of speech. And not that I had a problem with this before, because we never call each other out of our names, but sometimes you just gotta hush to keep the peace, right? And the Proverbs talk about, it's better for a man to be on a rooftop than to be in a house of a quarrelsome woman. And I think that was so profound. I think it was mentioned 2 times in Proverbs. It is better for a man to be at the rooftop than to be in the house of a quarrelsome woman. So you have to be guarded as to what comes out of your mouth, as well as, death and life lies in the power of your tongue. And sometimes women could be very harsh with their words, to hit below the belt as well. And what you don't want is to allow that to be like a habitual thing in your home, So being mindful of your speech is super important. Also, not bringing up divorce. I think bringing up divorce is, especially like to have the upper hand. Bringing up divorce to have the upper hand, or because you are upset about a particular thing, is not okay. You want to be able to have your gift, take care of your gift, protect your gift. You don't want, your gift to be threatened or, taken away. You know what I mean? So Be mindful of your speech. Schedule meetings where you would talk about the trajectory of the relationship. You talk about goals that need to be met. Talk about finances. Talk about emotion. Talk about what made you feel this way. It can be monthly. It can be quarterly. It can be yearly. But make it something that is an ongoing thing in your marriage, because it does help, and it has helped us. So that is one thing that I would highly suggest. Meetings, yes, it can be super uncomfortable sometimes, but it really does help and work. Number 9, intimacy. Intimacy is super important to strengthen your bond as a married couple. Enjoy the gift that God has given you. Enjoy it. It is important to find time to do it, to be intimate with your partner, not just being like sexually intimate, but genuinely spending time with your spouse, doing things that you both love. Laugh together, put on a comedy show, get a massage, do a pedicure. You know what I mean? Find time to be intimate with each other. And lastly, number 10, gender roles. I would have had to change my mindset on gender roles. Sometimes you come into a particular situation and you're like, no, well, you're supposed to do this and I'm supposed to do this, and because society said, this is supposed to be done this way by this person, and this is supposed to be done this by this person, sometimes it's not realistic. And I've had to, come out of that mindset. Like, for instance, the garbage, right? So no, maybe no, or we would say a man's supposed to take care of the garbage. But if your spouse isn't home and the garbage needs to be put out, would you just allow it to stay there, or get it done yourself? Sometimes you really just have to be realistic, you know what I mean? And let's say, for instance, I am not well. I'm accustomed being a person who cooks at home. If I'm not well, then Micah will take up that mantle of cooking, right? Or is it that nobody will eat because one person is not well? You know what I mean? So gender roles has allowed me to see, like, to be realistic, right? And it is fair. Be realistic. Help out each other. You're a teammate. When one person is not able to do something, tap in, right? Get the work done. You're a team. It also involves compromising as well, right? Because you're accustomed to something, and then because it's like, okay, well, should I do this? No, compromise. Do it. It's fine. You're a team. Tap in and say it's fine. I got you. So the 10 things I would have learned in marriage are: 1, die to yourself daily. 2, commit to your spouse. 3, you are a team, work as a team. 4, respect and support your spouse. 5, be in control of your mood swings or your emotions, right? 6, prioritize date nights. Number 7, be mindful of your speech. Do not bring up divorce. You want to be able to have a successful long marriage, right? Number 8, schedule meetings. Number 9, intimacy. And 10, be realistic with gender roles. So I hope that this was super insightful for you and encouraging as well. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and drop a comment for me. I would love to hear your feedback, what you're thinking, any questions that you may have as well. I highly encourage it. Until then, see you in the next one. Bye.